This is Oscar Bevis for the Stomping Ground, powered by Wow Hydrate and available on the Zone. What's happening, Ed?
Well, good, mate. I see Parsons is off in Rome, is he?
Yeah.
So you got the gig? I mean, I have to be honest with you. I'm not sure about the shoes.
I took your advice. Look, no laces.
No, but what are they?
What, Adidas sandals?
What size are they?
Not on camera, please.
They look like a 3.
They're a 7.
Oh,
I ain't going to lie, yeah.
Do you get to wear the kiddie sizes?
It makes it cheaper.
Is it?
No, I don't wear kids' shoes, no, but they are.
Okay, I'm not sure about the shoes.
So
I've noticed on a couple of the pictures that I've seen, I think in the community event last night, or with the Everlast guys, you've opted for kind of like these baggy jeans. They've got no real shape. Yeah, I'm confused, but I'll roll with it for now. And welcome to Philadelphia.
It's just a little style switch up.
Listen, do you know sometimes my new style is a lot of the time I don't really give a fuck, right? So sometimes you just stick it on and people go, do you know what? Look at him, he's cool. Because he clearly don't care what he's wearing.
Am I not giving that off right now?
That's what I'm saying. I think it's that bad and it's that all over the place that it's like he don't care. And I rate that. So I think this is how we should position you. Yeah? You don't care. And I think that's the vibe you got to go for.
So your marketing head, your best marketing head for me is looking at me and saying that I don't care.
So if I'm looking to build the profile of Oscar Bevis, I'm looking to build the narrative of Oscar Bevis as a personality in the boxing game. And that's what I feel like we need to do with you. Because I feel like you're stuck a little bit in between a nice guy Oscar. Like, everyone loves you, right? I've not met anyone that said a bad word about you. That's not always a good thing. Because if you look at Parsons, 90% of people now in the boxing industry dislike him,
90.
right? Yeah. Colm, even, you just heard him like piping up.
Bowling ball.
Yeah. 100% of the people in the boxing game like you, which has its benefits. But kind of like you got this new beard here, you're clean shaven.
The state of it being a new beard when I'm 26 years old.
Yeah, but I'm like, I'm
that
just trying to establish what is Oscar. Who is Oscar? Is he former football hooligan turned boxing reporter? Is he nice guy, choir boy? Right?
No.
Okay.
We'll cut
but where we need to let people know. Where are you from, Oscar?
Hillingdon, West London.
Okay.
UB postcode. Shout out UB.
UB postcode. Tell me where Hillingdon is now.
At the end of the Met line. Like right.
Yeah. Tell me some other places around there.
10 minutes from Heathrow Airport.
Okay. Fuck, we ain't got a lot to work with here, have we? So we've got a seller kid, right?
A kid as well.
You're 26. You're a kid.
Right. Okay.
We've got a seller kid that lives 10 minutes from Heathrow Airport. I mean, that's about like, I need more, Oscar. I need to know the streets that you walked. Do you know what I mean? Just fucking make something up or something. Don't just, when I say to you, where are you from? I want you to say something like, if it's over West London, I don't know, I want you to say, I don't know, not in Ilgate, right? Or Shepherd's Bush. It doesn't matter, make it up. Don't tell me you're 10 minutes from Heathrow. That's the most boring thing in the world. What the most exciting thing for you growing up was whether it was a 747 or a fucking 797 coming overhead.
I'd feel dishonourable to my man.
To Hillingdon.
If I went, I'm from Notting Hill Gate. But when I ain't.
Yeah, okay, but I don't know.
I'm not having Notting Hill as well.
Did you do the plane spotting when you were young, or is that?
I didn't know.
No. I'm going to have a think about how we're going to position you in the boxing world, right? Because we need something.
Can we tick the journalistic integrity box as like? Can we say that's covered now after a few years deep in the sport?
You work for Parsons, mate. How can you even consider
about
ticking a journalistic integrity box when you work for Charlie Parsons? You got one geezer from the Cotswolds and the other geezer lives in Heathrow Airport, right? What?
In T5.
Yeah, exactly. T5 weren't about when you were born. So I don't know if it was T1, T2, T3, wherever it was. But let's be honest, your stomping ground was the short-term pay and display at Terminal 3. It ain't great.
Oh, Anyway,
Anyway.
Thanks for welcoming me to Philly.
Time's up. Right.
Appreciate
Next.
you. My time is actually closing in. No, yeah, forget where I was from. I want to know a bit about where you was at.
Okay.
Antigua. I saw you went to the cricket. Did you stay for the?
No,
full
so we
duration?
had a board meeting in Antigua. Very nice over there. Just a bit of planning and strategizing across Matchroom Sport. As you know, we're not just a boxing company. I popped to the cricket, 50 over match. I like going to sporting events. I like to see where other sports are at.
You picked a good one, by the way.
For those, unfortunately, I left before the end because I didn't think we were going to make the runs. So I wanted to get back and ended up watching the last couple of overs on TV.
Oh, shout out Liam Livingston.
I think that, for those of you who don't know, I played cricket from 8 till 16. Very good player. County standard, as you'd expect. I feel like the sport's dying a little bit, if I'm honest. I feel like it's quite fragmented at the moment. Like when I got on the plane to Antigua, a lot of the England team were on the plane. I didn't even know they were playing in the West Indies, if I'm honest. I don't know. I couldn't name you 3 or 4 players from the England team at the moment that were playing in that one-day international. Obviously, the introduction of the IPL, the 100, all this kind of stuff. Is there a future for county cricket and a 4-day game? What is a one-day international just randomly put out? I don't know. This is just pub talk,
Do you feel like you look at several sports, and I'll include obviously cricket in this because of what you said, like if I chuck in, say, like even a rugby or something, do you feel like you look and think, if I was in like an exec role, I could flip this around and make this more...
Listen, Rugby League came to me many years ago and asked me to try and change the game. But it's about... You can't... If you want us to come and put the Matchroom magic sprinkle dust across it, you can't just come in and do a little bit of consulting. You've got to come in and completely restructure the game. The problem sometimes with sports like county cricket is, or cricket in general, the people that are running the sport, and this is a problem in boxing as well, actually all sports, when you've got someone that's so intrinsically built within a sport and so institutionalised and so passionate about the game, they're really adverse to change. So we all know at the moment that what the future of live sport is built around a faster pace. It's just the way that younger people are digesting content. They really don't want to sit there for 4 days watching a test match, right?
But at the moment, England's test side are more watchable and more appealing than...
But what I'm saying is talk about bringing new people into the sport. It's very difficult, isn't it, to say to someone, right, do you want to watch this sport? All right, what time's it on? Oh, it starts at 10:55 on a Thursday. All right, how long does it go on for? It should be finished on Monday. It's like, what? Do you understand?
True,
Because you've obviously rattled off some cricket players and stats, you know the game, right? You're a fan of the sport. That's fine. Once you get into the sport, you can teach them about a longer format. But things like the 100 are massive for the sport because they are actually going to get young people, families going down to the Oval or to Lords to watch the 100. And it's very easy to understand. You've got 100 balls, mate. Do you know what I mean? Whoever gets the most scores. We know that actually, let's say that's not cricket. Like for me, cricket was not just going out and having a slog from the first ball. But people like to see it.
So you was an opener?
No, I was about 3 to 4, 5. But what I'm saying is cricket was about, playing yourself in, building an innings. In the 100, it's just a slogfest. I go back to like Prize Fighter. I remember when we were doing Prize Fighter, that was so influential in terms of the growth of the sport. But people who loved boxing said, it's a crapshoot. It's not real boxing. You've got fighters that are just going in there from the first bell trying to knock each other out. But that's what the casual fan actually wants to watch. So this is for another interview. But I like watching all sport and seeing, you've got to look at the younger generation coming through. That's how you know that the future of a sport is in good hands. I actually think the future of boxing is in tremendous hands.
Yeah, and that's because of young people like me and Parsons.
No, it's because of me.
Young people like anyone.
No, that does help. That definitely helps. But really, boxing is cool. Boxing is sexy.
Is true. Boxing has always been cool.
But also more brands come. Not just because they're a partner. Look at the work that like Everlast are doing. In their campaigns, in their products, in their apparel. Like boxing is cool, and we need that to continue.
Absolutely. Right, I'm going to save Boots and Bam for the press conference that we got later coming up in a couple of hours. Jump straight into the Conor Benn stuff. When you saw Conor's statement, when you had the news through, I know you and Frank were on the course, weren't you?
Golf course, yeah.
What was your kind of initial reaction? Like a bit of a weight off the shoulders,
Yeah,
sigh of
massive.
relief?
I mean, look, I think this isn't going to be a gloating period for us. It could very easily be, but it's gone on so long. All we want to do is get back to work, right? And I have to give massive credit and respect to the resilience and the unwavering battle that Conor Benn has fought throughout this process. You know, there were times, and I actually, you know, particularly over the last few months and even year, he had an opportunity to really, probably to lie and just accept a ban here, right? But he was never willing to not fight for his innocence. And I admire that so much. And I've believed him from day one. If you would have seen behind the scenes the opportunity that he's had to get himself out of this situation by not protesting his innocence, you would also believe him. Because he's continuously fought the fight, right? And now when you look at what's happened yesterday, to be fully cleared of any wrongdoing makes it all worthwhile. Although it probably went on a year longer than it should have done, the ruling yesterday makes it all worthwhile. Obviously, there's things that I can say and can't say. This is not a gloating exercise, but what I will say is, for all the people out there that say, yeah, well, he served a silent ban, absolute bollocks. He's not served any silent ban, right? Number one. Number two, the people out, yeah, well, I bet there wasn't even a full trial, it was just jurisdiction. Complete rubbish. This was a full NAPD hearing. What more do you want him to do? He's had a hearing with the WBC. He's had a hearing with UCAD. He's had an appeal with UCAD. He's then had a full independent hearing with the National Anti-Doping Panel, who yesterday confirmed he's cleared of any wrongdoing. What more do you want this young man to do? But you're never going to please everybody. But what we can do is focus on the return of one of the most exciting young fighters in the sport of boxing. A massive shot in the arm for Conor Benn, for Matchroom, for DAZN, and for British boxing. Because guess what? You got a superstar back on your hands in 2025, and this kid is coming back with vengeance and violence and ready to perform and entertain the British public. And the opportunities are endless, and we can't wait.
Sitting here, I would think that, or I would like at least, to believe that this could be the last conversation about Conor Benn, and everything from here forward would be about fights with Chris Eubank. Obviously, we're in Village or on Ennis. But this UCAD 21 days to appeal. Are we going to be sitting here talking about this in another 3 months?
Listen, I don't think it's for me. People are going to do what they're going to do. This is, for me, hopefully pretty final. But we'll see. You know, again, we're up for any fight, any battle. But hopefully this provides closure on a horrific period in Conor Benn's life, where now finally he can focus on what he does best and what he loves best, which is fighting.
So will he fight in the UK early 2025?
Absolutely.
Chris Eubank Jr.?
Listen, we got options. We can fight for the world welterweight title. We can fight Chris Eubank Jr. We can have another top 15 name at the O2 and sell it out. It doesn't matter. My instruction from Conor Benn is, I want the biggest fight in the sport that you can give me. That is Chris Eubank Jr. But now's the time. Following the ruling yesterday, he'll be here tomorrow. We're going to spend a few days together, plot out the future, and I can't wait.
Yeah, there's no doubt that there's been a lot of pent up anger inside Conor. I know in his statement he said there's no ill feeling towards anyone, even the non-believers and the people who said from day dot that this is a guy who intentionally took performance-enhancing drugs. Do you genuinely believe that there's no ill feeling? Like, a fine for a statement, but do you genuinely believe Conor Benn does not have almost like a little hit list?
Yeah,
where he
feel
goes,
like,
you and you doubted me from day one.
Yeah, but you're never going to keep everybody happy. I won't even mention them, but the people that have spoken with no knowledge, with no experience, with no real understanding of the matter, that have continuously tried to defame him. At some point, you have to draw. If you go through life with pain and anger inside you, what type of life is that? At some point, you have to let it all out and you have to let it be and move on with your life. And I feel like that's where he's at now. If this decision might have come 6 months ago, a year ago, I think maybe it's different. But I feel like, look, Conor is a very religious, he's a man of faith. And I feel like he feels like this is God's work. He's kept his faith through this entire process. And now it's time to get back to what he does. And like I said, a superstar of British boxing is back. And it's going to be sweet as fuck.
Just to finish off, have you got a short message for the people who didn't believe Conor from day one?
Listen, I'm going to go down the route of Conor Benn, and that's everybody's entitled to their opinion. The only thing that I will say is, honestly, if I didn't believe this young man, I really wouldn't have bothered. What he has been through has been horrific. But for 2 years or more, I've had to sit here. I've had to back him 100%. I've had to have his back at every moment. I've done over 1,000 interviews where I've had to talk about it. I've had to give my support. I just wouldn't have done it. If you don't believe Conor Benn, ask yourself why. Why would I go to the lengths that I've gone to? Because when I looked him in the eye after meeting after meeting after a meeting, and when he had the opportunity time and time again to get himself out of this situation by saying something that wasn't true, by doing this, he continuously refused. And I believed him. And from the moment I believed him, I will never, ever not have his back. So for the people that didn't believe him, the people that don't believe him, at some point you have to say to yourself, he's been through every process. Like, there has never been a fighter, I think, that's been through more processes in a situation. And yesterday, it wasn't a hearing in the Matchroom HQ. This was a hearing of the National Anti-Doping Independent Panel, who have cleared him of any wrongdoing. At least give him the respect to say, you've been cleared. But if you can't do that, then what's the point? You might as well give up and just say, get on with it. Because you're never going to keep everybody happy. But God is good, and on we go.